Welcome back, guys. Thank you for sticking with us through the entire day, but we're coming up on the last match of the PML. For right now, I am Fawn here with Gormizer.
I'm happy to be here. This is going to be a fun
Awesome.
one. This is actually, I think, like the one set. Well, I wouldn't say the one set. After everything I've seen today, I don't know what to expect out of it.
Right, exactly.
I kind of am coming in with a little bit more thoughts behind Sanguine, but I feel like it's just because I know more about them. 5-stack, they're this LATAM team that last week kind of proved a lot to me, and I think we're going to continue seeing more of their faces as time goes on.
Yeah, one thing it is that I've actually noticed, or I believe it was, we were talking about it a little bit before we actually came back, that 5-stack, not 5-stack, I apologize, Sanguine has their full roster for this for this game, right?
Yeah, last week Vayne wasn't allowed to play because it was just some of the rulings. He had to play with the team he was playing with during relegations, so he wasn't able to play with Sanguine for the first week. Jalen Sanity, who is a prominent frontline player anyway, but is their coach, subbed in for him, but now we're going to see Sanguine full force. Like, this is what they wanted to come into this week with, and that honestly opens my eyes a little more to kind of what to expect out of them. Just maybe raises the bar a little bit.
Right, yeah. I can understand that from that perspective. I mean, we're going to get right to the map bans right now and see what it is that we have in store for this upcoming game. Ascension Peak, Stone Keep as well, to see what's going on, as well as Shattered Desert and Frog. Once again, another Shattered Desert ban. We don't really see that as often as some of the others.
It fits in with the same reason like Bazaar is kind of banned. I feel like it's just new enough that you don't always want to go there. At the same time, some teams, it's a different style of play, right? It's a different style of drafting, and because of that, there's chances to come back in ways that there aren't. On other maps is the best way to word it, where it's just the fight is kind of like this merry-go-round at the very beginning. All of a sudden, flanks like Eevee, Pip, sometimes even Buck become more prominent, so it's just get it out of here. Let's just play on something we know.
Yeah, here we go with the maps. I believe the first map of this game, Ice Mines, is what they're opening up on. That's not something you see opened up with often.
No, honestly, like there's, I think only one team in my mind that comes up when I think they chose Ice Mines, and that's Renegades, because they're really good at Ice Mines. And that's the thing. Ice Mines is one of those maps that for a long time it was the map 3. We're down 2-0, so we choose to go to Ice Mines because then we can go 2-1, and then we can push this set to at least 4 games, maybe to 5 games. It transitioned during just this year, this first split of this year, to this we can 4-0 you here, we can 4-1 you here. Like, we know the flow of the map better, and because most people grudgingly go to Ice Mines, like they don't want to scrim it as much, and now that we have a strategy that wins, we can take it. We can guarantee ourselves a win on Ice Mines.
Exactly. They go for the Khan Torvald ban, followed up with the Makoa Willow ban as well. That's interesting because I don't see Willow picked quite as often on this map as some others.
It's her and Pip, I think, are the two blasters. I guess Drogos has now kind of wormed his way into that equation, but it's just one of those, which ones do you want to deal with? I think 5-stack are coming in potentially with a strategy maybe that does involve like Grover, and if you want to use Grover on this map, who is phenomenal on Ice Mines, you kind of have to get rid of Willow. Otherwise, it's just going to hurt you. The problem is that ban, as good as it could be, does give up the Atlas.
That's true. Atlas is first locked on saying what side they opt to answer with the Inara Ash as well. Both the tanks are already locked in for FSE, 5-stack Esports. Atlas is locked in for Sanguine. Genos is the follow-up pick to that. And I would imagine, now the question is, do they try and go for the Barrack here? Do they try and go for another frontliner, or do they opt to go for the damage in this case?
Honestly, you could play one of either ways. I like the idea to go Cassie. Like, this is one of those picks where you could do one of two things. If you go for the tank here, I like it just because, cool, we've got 2 tanks, support. You have no idea where we're going, so we can decide our support after seeing 2 more champions on your side. But Cassie, we had talked about this on the desk earlier, and honestly should be mentioned anytime she's locked in. She's just good at everything. She can engage, disengage, 1v1, sometimes 1v2. She's good for the backline. She can flank. Like, she just is a full package deal. And so there's no real good reason not to pick her, and that's one of those moments where Sanguine, I think, just don't want to give her up.
That's true, okay. So Victor and Drogos are locked in response. Kinessa is on this map as well. Now that's something it is that, once again, I feel like I just said this.
That's the right reaction.
Yeah. Like, I don't really see Kinessa picked on Ice Mines. Well, for one reason I would suspect, and they go for Fernando as well. They don't opt to pick the Barrack either.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are a little confusing. And honestly, if Jalen Sanity was there, and I guess since he is coach, he's kind of there in spirit, right? Fernando is a solid pick on this. It's actually really good against the Drogos, so I think that's where that line is being drawn, where it's just when Dragon punches up, if we Immortal, that does not kill us.
Right.
Knessa, the only thing I can say about Knessa is that Stigma's on this team, and I know Stigma likes to play Knessa on weird maps. But if I remember correctly, Stigma... Oh, no, actually, it could be Stigma actually playing this Knessa. I mean, he used to bring it in Brightmarsh. It's not something we see often. It's not something I think I've actually ever seen on Ice Mines, unless you're, in one of my casual games. But coming through here, I'm really excited to see how this works.
Well, I mean, both teams are locked in. But you are, yeah, it is like Christmas. It is, because this stuff it is you don't normally see only in the PML. First game is ready. Both teams are locked in. We're going to throw it right down to the casters to get game one.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. We kind of talked about this on Frog Isle. Sometimes, you have guys that don't really love to play the sniper, so they sort of force Leon where those normally would be. Yeah. And then you have Stigma.
Yeah, he's very comfortable, I think, in that role. And
he's the opposite.
Even so, but like, Ice Mines, the only place I can think about really wanting to do it would be like on defense when you're defending as the card turns that final corner. You don't want to be in that situation. If you're like, yo, this is so good on defense, then your team's like, yeah, we don't want to be.
Yeah.
We want to be pushing. We want to be going for the win, going for the
I mean, when you think about like where you'd stick a Victor, he's just kind of firing from those upper windows.
Yeah.
I guess, that has
Telescope
its merits.
Victor, I guess, if you're going to play it like that. A little bit less FOV. But Nano's going to be interesting, too. Man. Great to counter that Drogo's ult if they go in for it.
He's just not dressed appropriately, though.
That might harm his play a lot. Well, he has the flamethrower. It evens out.
And the Flaming Tiger to keep him warm on his ride into battle. Nice little moonwalk charge onto the point. Bane's going to find the initial aggression here. These two front lines just going to butt heads with each other. Wake up, Amadeus sits down first. He's put to sleep, and look at this. Poison and Atlas pushing the back line. You just love to see it.
Great flank aggression, I think, from the Atlas. I mean, we saw that on Frog Isle when Tay was piloting it. Just the ability to walk straight in. Formidable triggering here for Vayne as he keeps the pressure up in main. Combustible knocking him back, but doesn't really matter. He's still going to keep up all this aggression, a lot of damage.
Flick fireball, baby.
Too. Yeah, that's all the Fernando technical skill you will ever see.
Yeah, the moonwalk dash.
No, that's true. That's true.
Okay, all right.
I practiced that in training range. Go Aegis, Chronos.
Yeah, buddy.
Two clock directions.
Managed to grab the first payload of Ice Mines. Mr. Stigma does get one of those kills onto an Inara that was kind of stranded on the objective. If you're looking at it through my lens, obviously the flank from Poison was very, very impactful here, led by the Atlas. Stasis Field, such a unique defensive ability for that front line. Nothing you can really do about it in round 1 or round 4.
Yeah, Stigma actually setting up in the tunnel way back there, catching Tuga on the back, and the Nara earlier in the fight. Rotating long would be so smart here if he wants to do it. Don't think they're ready for it. Wake up Amadeus hiding. He does manage to get away before Stigma rotates over, but that's going to be a lethal angle, already hitting the Zamba up there on the high ground.
Yup, and now this is what you talked about in the or kind of as we were loading in. On the offense, on the defense, we say so often, man, nobody drafts for the defense, or nobody drafts for the payload push. It's all about the point fight. Sanguine have drafted a character that gets much, much stronger as this payload starts to roll. Either way it starts to roll, defense or the offense here. This is where Stigma is going to look to shine.
Watching him scope into these close-range engagements makes me wonder how hard it must be on mid for him. I guess it didn't matter with all the pressure that Poison had there, but pressure's completely stopped by Matorio's Dread Serpent, finding Neo up there. I think this is the first time I've seen him play Atlas.
Okay.
Just completely across the board. I don't think I've seen him play it, but I mean, he can pick up new characters pretty quickly. It's shown by his ability to play off-tank already.
You just have like those players that are just solid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just out here to game. It doesn't really matter what you park them on. Especially if you play a lot of Paladins. That's why I think Bugsy was always so good in that flex role. He just played so damn much of the game that he could really kind of operate on a lot of different characters, whether he was playing with or against it. Had a good reputation on anything. Vayne will find the opening frag here onto Ice Monkey as Sanguine once again starts to surge forward. Set back into the second chance. Nobody grabs there. And again, that lethal angle from Long, like you mentioned, paying off.
Yeah, big game here. Mark and the Victor barely missing. Unfortunate for Poison, but Stigma, his DPS duo there to back him up, finding that kill. Immortal coming onto the cart. Great shot by Stigma, finding him more and more on this offense. Going to be playing that Victor angle with his binoculars on. Ash is going to have to contest him. I mean, what else are you going to do? But look how low his HP already is from the start of that.
Taking so much damage, knocking Kinessa away, only for her to transport right back. Couple more shots from Stigma, and it's good. He is just that good. He will force it anywhere. Bright Marsh, Jag Falls, Ice Mines, it don't matter. The boy gets it done, 9-0. Oh man, what a pleasure. I mean, meeting this guy at LAN, seems like a great guy as well. All the more happy for him to be finding success on his very, very, well-known character like Kinessa.
I mean, watching him dive that Ashe, watching that Ashe dive him blink away, and then instead of just carbining him down, he scoped up.
Yeah.
Point blank with that Ashe. That could have been over so much faster, but Stigma just wanted to showboat.
Same when he was pushing that Victor in that little hut. He was like bee-hopping with the
full scope
3
up.
feet away,
Hey,
barrel
I mean,
stuff.
That is faster. That is technically faster with that scope hopping. A little bit of tech for Stigma going life rip to something that this time Autobah's not on. Yeah,
True
probably.
Grit?
I'm assuming True Grit 4 or 5 would be my guess on the Kinessa loadout.
Yep,
True Grit 5. Yeah, I mean, that's going to help in those close range fights, right?
Life Rip 2, 740 HP per shot with no caught. Like, that's big, big health that he can get back every single time he lands a shot. Full health right now, so he can't see it, but crushing shots onto the objective. 2 for 2. Stigma still set up back here. That streak still burning. Big heals coming through, forcing Inara off of the objective. Even she is not tanky enough to deal with these headshots. So she's being pushed right into Atlas. Damba's able to keep her up through the Atlas damage, but the threat of Stigma has been enough to deter Inara.
Yeah, she's going to be able to refight on the side out of Stigma's angles. He's trying to find it. Seismic Crash coming in to maybe catch Neo. He's not going to be able to avoid that with the Stasis Field. He splashes right in front of it, still goes through. Wall on the point to avoid Stigma. And actually, Drogos is mounting right into Stigma on the backline and finds Poison.
Oh my god, and it worked!
What a massive play! Usually you never see that. You never.
The kid just W keys down 3 people in the high ground. You got to get it done one way or another. Well done, 5. I'd love to see the replay of that. That was hilarious.
Duga does not care. He sees that opening in bar, and he's like, well, I know I have like over 100 ping. I know I'm running combustible. I do not care. If I put my face to you, the delay of my rockets will not matter in the slightest. Stigma, now they're going to be pretty happy about the Kinessa right on this defense. I mean, that's where she should be shining.
You got to play with what you got for sure. Plenty of time. Moment, big headshot rings home. Victor